Hey everyone, I'm back with another update. In this episode, I'll cover the death of two Iowa Army National Guard soldiers, the Brown University shooting, and immigration related news. Of course, I'll end with the noteworthy tidbits. On the 13th, two Iowa Army National Guard soldiers, Sergeant William Nathaniel Howard and Sergeant Edgar Brian Torres Tovar, were killed in an ambush attack by a lone ISIS gunman in Palmyra, central Syria. Sergeant Howard was 29 years old and from Marshalltown, and Sergeant Torres Tovar was 25 and from Des Moines. They were part of Operation Inherent Resolve, a U.S. led counter ISIS mission involving roughly 1,800 Iowa troops deployed to the Middle East since May 2025, with about 250 in Syria. The soldiers were conducting a key leader engagement with local forces when the attack occurred, also killing one U.S. civilian interpreter and wounding three other Iowa Guard members. Syrian forces arrested 5 suspects in connection with the ambush the following day. The incident marks the first combat deaths for the Iowa National Guard since 2011 in Afghanistan. The attack occurred early in the morning in local time in Palmyra, an historic site in ISIS-contested territory. The gunman ambushed the group during a routine counterterrorism operation. Of the 3 wounded, 2 evacuated immediately for treatment, and all were reported stable by the 15th. U.S. forces engaged the attacker, who was killed at the scene. President Trump vowed very serious retaliation against ISIS, stating at a White House event on December 14th, "There will be a lot of damage done to the people that did it." The Pentagon confirmed the mission's focus on defeating ISIS remnants. Sergeant Howard was a husband and father, the son of Meskwaki Nation Police Chief Jeffrey Bunn, a UAW Local 893 chapter, and was described by family as the first in and last out, no one left behind. He enlisted in 2017 and deployed with the 2nd Brigade Combat Team, 34th Infantry Division. Sergeant Torres Tovar was a dedicated family man from a close-knit household. He joined the Guard in 2019 and was known for his pride in service and commitment to counterterrorism efforts. He was also part of the 2nd Brigade Combat Team, 34th Division. Both are remembered by relatives and friends as proud patriots who volunteered for deployment to protect their communities. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds called this attack a devastating loss, urging Iowans to pray for the families and saying, "Our hearts are heavy today." Senator Joni Ernst echoed, "Our Iowa National Guard family is hurting," and flags were ordered at half-staff statewide. Memorial services are pending and counseling support has been activated for the Guard. The attack underscores risks in Syria despite reduced U.S. troop presence and has renewed calls for accelerated ISIS defeat amid escalating regional tensions. Let's shift to the Brown University shooting. On December 13th, there was a mass shooting at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, during the second day of final exams for the fall semester. A lone gunman entered an unlocked engineering building and opened fire in a classroom, killing 2 students and wounding 9 others. The attack paralyzed the Ivy League campus, leading to an immediate lockdown and a multi-agency manhunt that continued up until the time I'm writing this in the early hours of December 16th, without a suspect in custody. The timeline is as follows. At 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time, the shooting began in room 166 of the Barras and Hawley building, home to the School of Engineering and Physics Department. The gunman fired on a group of about 186 people attending a review session for Professor Rachel Friedberg's Introductory Economics final exam, led by a 21-year-old teaching assistant. The building's exterior doors were unlocked due to ongoing finals, allowing easy access. Brown University issued an active shooter alert via text and the school app, ordering a campus-wide shelter-in-place. Students barricaded doors, hid in labs, and awaited police sweeps. Emergency calls reported multiple victims, with first responders transporting the injured to the university-affiliated Rhode Island Hospital. Over 400 law enforcement officers from local, state, and federal agencies, including the FBI, searched the 153-acre campus and surrounding College Hill neighborhood, home to historic brick residences, restaurants, and coffee shops. Businesses closed early, and nearby Providence College urged students to stay indoors. On December 14th, the lockdown was lifted early in the morning after no further threats. A person of interest was detained around 3:45 a.m. at a Coventry hotel 28 miles south of Providence while in possession of 2 guns, but was released later that day without charges after being cleared. Authorities confirmed a sole suspect and released initial surveillance footage showing the gunman fleeing along a nearby road. On December 15th, the manhunt intensified with new CCTV videos and photos of the person of interest, hands behind his back in a posture some eyewitnesses linked to Middle Eastern cultural norms. No arrests have been made as of the time I'm writing this. Brown University canceled all remaining classes, exams, and assignments for the semester, delaying admissions decisions by up to 48 hours. Students began early winter break evacuations, with many expressing shock at the open and safe campus's vulnerability. All 11 victims were Brown University students, and of those injured, 1 is in critical condition, 6 are critical but stable, and 2 are in stable condition. Authorities described a single male gunman, not a Brown student or affiliate, who fled on foot post-shooting. Released footage shows him casing the campus and neighborhood beforehand, walking with hands clasped behind his back. Eyewitness accounts report him shouting something before firing. Unconfirmed reports from sources claim Allahu Akbar, but police have not officially corroborated this or a motive, citing an ongoing probe. No weapon has been recovered yet, and the type is undisclosed. Searches include warrants for digital and physical evidence, and the FBI set up a tip line for videos and images. The unlocked doors and lack of interior surveillance hindered entry and exit tracking, and officials emphasize no immediate ongoing threat but urge vigilance. As of December 16th, the suspect remains at large, and frustration has mounted over the pace, with criticism of federal response, for example, FBI Director Kash Patel's unrelated podcast appearance. President Christina Paxson called the incident the unthinkable, mobilizing counseling via the Rhode Island Medical Reserve Corps. A student petition demands ID swipes for all buildings 24/7 to enhance security. Admissions have been delayed, and blood donations surged at the Rhode Island Blood Center. Providence Mayor Brett Smiley urged witnesses to come forward, noting the release of the person of interest caused fresh anxiety, but reaffirmed safety measures. Governor Dan McGee labeled it as an unthinkable nightmare. Switching to immigration-related news. A Maine official confirmed the state will give an illegal alien a driver's license if they show their foreign birth certificate, regardless of if they speak English or not, and the Indian illegal alien semi-truck driver who caused a fatal crash has been released on bail after reportedly killing a young father in Washington state. Obama-appointed Judge Judith Levy gave an illegal alien a soft sentence after he was found guilty of raping and sodomizing a woman with cerebral palsy and cognitive delays, dragging her into an apartment building's laundry room. Thanks to this dumbass judge who needs to be impeached, this man may be released in just 2.5 years. Border Czar Tom Homan called for politicians, governors, and mayors who constantly attack ICE and Border Patrol agents to please stop, as it is putting them in danger, and Congressman Chip Roy called for a swift passage of his legislation that pauses all immigration. Roy said of the matter, "We need to pause immigration, fix our system, end diversity visas, end chain migration, stop H-1B abuse, end birthright citizenship, codify what POTUS has done, stop having taxpayers fund illegals in schools, and we've got to recenter our entire immigration system." Now it's time for the noteworthy tidbits, which are brought to you today by Zevo Life. Let me tell you about them quick. Looking for a game-changing way to improve your health? Zevo Life is the world's most nutrient-dense whole plant, packed with over 50% plant protein, essential amino acids, fiber, and antioxidants. Harnessing the best nature has to offer, Zevo Life nourishes your body while driving your performance, vitality, and overall well-being. Each serving is a concentrated source of clean, well-balanced nutrition designed to support modern lifestyles, and just 1 teaspoon a day supports your gut, boosts energy, and promotes healthier skin and hair. It's no wonder that it's receiving rave 5-star reviews. Step into a healthier future with a 30% discount and a 30-day risk-free guarantee by visiting zivo.life and using my promo code. To support my show and to receive 30% off your entire order, enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. All right, let's get back to the tidbits. President Trump, War Secretary Pete Hegseth, and others attended the Army-Navy game in Baltimore. There was a military flyover at the game, and Hegseth gave a pre-game interview. Trump, protected by rooftop snipers, tossed the coin for the game and participated in the Army-Navy tradition of crossing over to the other side, ensuring he spends the same amount of time with Navy midshipmen as Army cadets. The Navy won the game, defeating the Army 17-16. Senator John Kennedy confirmed that, according to an internal Minnesota Attorney General memo, massive Somali fraud was allowed to continue because Democrat politicians feared political retribution from the large Somali voter base, And a former Minneapolis TSA agent confirmed she saw suitcases filled with millions of dollars in cash, and the couriers were always Somalian men traveling in pairs. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is being criticized for spending $50,000 of campaign funds for high-end hotels, catering, event costs, and venue rental. Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon confirmed there is a civil rights investigation into Boston Mayor Michelle Wu for running a race-based housing program. Congressman Tim Burchett spoke out about Senate Democrats blocking a bill to ban funding for the Taliban and corrupt NGOs. The Department of Justice is suing Fulton County, Georgia, to unveil 2020 election records as officials are accused of hiding ballot stubs and signature envelopes. People are demanding an immediate retraction or potential lawsuit against MS Now after their legal reporter claimed President Trump was pictured with minors or survivors of Epstein. Democrats redacted their faces, but they're the faces of adult models, and the photos had already been released to the public. Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf was released from the hospital, and his mother said he is going to recover. President Trump said truckloads of evidence will be coming out proving the 2020 election was rigged. According to Real Clear Politics, President Trump is the most popular president this century at this point in his second term. With all of the horrible news we've had lately, I thought I'd end with First Lady Melania's post in response to everything, saying, "My thoughts and prayers go out to the families of the people who lost their loved ones around the world. In this difficult time, we are celebrating Christmas, and I'm thinking about them, what they're going through. My heart is with them." That's all I have for today. I'll be back with another update soon. Until then, please like, subscribe, and share this podcast, and follow me on Instagram and X at Shades of Jade Pod. Thank you for listening and have a great day.